gentlemen, welcome to our program, The Cardinal Show, coming to you on LTN. This is a talk show that is going to ventilate on matters that are economic, matters that are political, matters that are social. With me today in studio, I've got visitors here who are going to help us analyze a few things that have been happening in Kenya in the recent past. I think I must start with you, sir. Please let us know your name as we go on like that.
Thank you, Nick. My name is Gitonga Wathanga from Nairobi.
From Nairobi. Yes.
Samson Ojiayo, actually Director of the Water Services Board and actually a Jubilee member.
Thank you very much, Director. Yes, sir. Let us hear you.
My name is Antony Jaragenya. I'm a patriotic Kenyan.
A patriotic Kenyan.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, guys, today we want to talk about what has been trending in the Kenyan political grapevine. Right now, we know for sure that the JSC just gave out a verdict the other day that the Honorable Justice Philip Tunoi must face the tribunal. Now, looking at the entire spectrum of things here, the first time in Kenya ever, what does this one portend to the judiciary as a whole in terms of integrity? What do we expect to see in the near future about the integrity of the judiciary? I don't know, I begin with you, Mr. Gitonga.
Okay, thank you. The decision by the JSC to refer Tunoi to a tribunal just confirms what Kenyans really have been thinking about the judiciary. In my view, the judiciary really lost it during 2013, during the presidential election, when they went and gave a verdict of a very big case, and they gave a verdict within 5 minutes. It was really that was the beginning of the end of the judiciary. And whereas before Kenyans really had a lot of faith in the judiciary, since then the judiciary lost it, and by this they have just confirmed what Kenyans have been thinking all along. It is a very low point for our judiciary, and I think we need total reforms in the judiciary.
Mr. Samson, what do you think is going to be the perception that Kenyans are going to have now that the judiciary is claiming and has admitted that one of their own?
I think to me, we've not lost as a country. Yeah. To me, after 2010, what we are seeing, because we are saying for the first time now we've seen maybe Chief Justice now coming out and actually saying one of their own have received. To me, we are trending towards a right direction, whereby, because we are talking about, even though those people who make that judiciary are the same people with the old order. And now what is happening, that because of the environment which have been created, this will is going to crush some of these things. And the politically correct and those people with a lot of power and all that, this will is going to crush them. So Tunoi is just one of them. And I remember when Chief Justice saying that this country is a country of a bandit. He's a bandit because he's only saying that as a bandit because the people who are there are the same people with the old order. So meaning that today is Tunoi. What about the other time which is coming now? Meaning that new people will be there, will now find an environment actually whereby we can clean our judiciary. That is the way to go.
Yes, Mr. Antony, what is your thinking of this?
We are in a very sad state as a country because every country, if there is one institution that should be above reproach, is the judiciary. Without judiciary being above reproach, other forms of government like the legislations and the executives cannot work well. It is unfortunate that these allegations are being directed to the judiciary. And it is not just about Justice Tunoi. It is the whole judiciary. Because let's say the allegations on Justice Tunoi confirmed to be true. That would tell us that the whole bench was actually compromised. And when you're talking about the whole bench, and that is the Supreme Court of the land, that is terrible. And we are in a very bad state as a country, unfortunately.
Talking about the Supreme Court and the entire bench, there's a feeling that perhaps this allegation would smear even other judges in this. Is there a possibility like that we would also see other judges also being roped into this mess?
Definitely, because the judgment was not given by Justice Tunoi, and compromising one judge definitely would not have given the desired results. So if Justice Tunoi is found to be guilty, it follows that there were others that worked with him. It's not just him. And the bench, as we know, I think it was a five
judge bench.
Yeah, so at least you are talking about at least three. There are three others, or at least two others, as well worked in cahoots with Justice Tunoi. And so I think this is definitely going to open a can of worms. It's not just about him. It's about, as you like to say, it's about the entire Supreme Court.
Samson, what does this one tell? Because if it's me as any other judges apart from Tunoi, then I want to believe, like Antony says, that the entire Supreme Court should now be sent home. Or should
the issue here is not sending the entire Supreme Court home. The issue here actually now, when you send them home, now do you have a mechanism of bringing people who are clean, and who are they? You get the point? Those are the questions we need to ask as a country. But now the reason why, even though Jaragenya is saying that now maybe as a nation, actually, this is not the way to go. To me, I did not expect, actually, for example, now after 2010 and now judiciary now is just clean. It can't be clean as of now. But I'm telling you, the way I'm using that word cogwheel, is going to crush all these people and they will go. The question we need to ask ourselves, do we have another spare? The people who can come, the people who can actually pass the test of the day. That is the question you need to ask.
Nick, I don't agree with the chair. Yeah. Ojiayo seems to be telling us that in this country we don't have clean people, and that in the judiciary, the whole of judiciary, we don't have clean people that can replace these other Supreme Court judges. I disagree with that, and I think there are quite a number of people who are good, who are men of integrity, who can replace anyone in this country.
Nick.
This country, we have so many people that no one can say he is indispensable. Not even the president.
Nick, we are not saying that we don't have people who are qualified as far as those good papers are concerned in this country. We are talking about the integrity, people with the value, the people who believe actually that this is a better nation we need to create for the future generation to come. Remember, these judges we are talking about, they are vetted. The question also we need to ask, who vetted the people who are vetting them? These are questions we need to ask as a nation. So even those ones you will bring, they'll be vetted. But who also is going to vet the people who are going to vet them? But what am I saying? That is a learning process for younger people like you to start learning that as we are talking, colleges are there producing some upcoming actually lawyers, advocates. They'll join the judiciary. But they need to see that the Tunuis of this world, this is what happened to them. So to me, we are moving. And that's why we are saying, sometimes we do a very wrong thing that we want, when we are talking about democracy, good governance and all that, we compare ourselves with maybe like America, which is 300 years ahead of us. These are very young democracy. And these are, to me, the teething problems which we must pass.
I think. Now, just a minute, Mr. Gitonga. In your opinion, do you think that there are Kenyans out here who would come into the judiciary and inject new belief and thinking into that system?
Definitely, there are Kenyans. We have Kenyans of integrity. It's only that the problem we have had is that our systems have largely been tilted to people of means, to people who are of old order. It doesn't really allow, our system really does not allow new entrants. It doesn't give opportunities.
So what goes wrong here? Our system doesn't give room to people who have new ideas. We only want to recycle people. What then is wrong here? Is it our mindset as a people? Is it the status quo that is supposed to be maintained? Who are these controlling these strings?
It actually goes, it boils down to main two issues. It's about corruption and the tribalism. It's about corruption and tribalism, because the people we have had in power since the governments we have in power, the system we have had since independence is about status quo. They really don't allow other people, easy entry, and they want to hold on to what they have had since independence.
So that is the mindset. We must crash and then we get to new order.
Yes, and as you rightly said, at least the new constitution is also trying as to gain new ground. Otherwise, before with the old constitution, we really did not have this opportunity of bringing the Tuluis of this world to account.
So you are bringing a point here that the new constitution is now giving us now a moment of reckoning, because we now have somewhere to look into, and we have a procedure to deal with cases like this in now and in future. So the new constitution is actually beginning to bite here.
No, it's biting.
I think what Samson Ojiayo was saying, that the issue here is the democracy. Our democracy is new, and you see we should not compare ourselves with America. I don't agree. Here we're talking about integrity. We Africans, and particularly Kenyan, we've always appreciated men and women of integrity. It is not that Americans have actually practiced integrity more than us. So if we're talking about integrity, or Africans, particularly Africans, we've always held integrity to be a very high virtue. Now, you have to ask about the new constitution. It is good that we have the new constitution. It is also unfortunate that his party, the one he supports, the deputy president, actually fought so hard to make sure that this constitution, the new constitution, did not see the light of the day. So as much as he's here telling us about the new constitution, we know that if the implementation of the new constitution, they are the one who are derailing it. So I'm sure, as much as Ojiayo is here telling us with a brave face that they're really fighting so hard with the new constitution to bring it up, I know in his party, they are really fighting so hard not to implement the new constitution.
I want to say this. I don't want to agree with him, because
actually doing everything up and down to ensure
what
that
I'm
the
saying,
constitution doesn't
I
take
think
root.
my deputy, who was their deputy by then in 2007, that is Ruto.
Who are you talking about?
No, he's talking about Ruto when Ruto was the other side, was
The
saying
deputy
no.
president.
But now today he's saying that is in my party. What I'm simply saying that Ruto had his position, but Ruto is not Tunui. We are talking about specific. Ruto is not the president of the court. There's a president of the court. Judiciary has its own word. That's a different arm of the government. And in fact, it's not actually Ruto who sent it to Tunui to do any other thing. So I think what I'm simply saying, Tunui as a person do not have actually moral authority even to be in that court because of his what? Conduct as a person. But remember, when we were doing the vetting was not Jubilee, neither court. You get the point? So that is a nation. We need to take actually that thing and say that actually maybe there's something wrong as a nation. But the reason why I'm trying to console myself and telling the people at large in this country is that we have a document. That is our Bible, the Constitution. Today, when we are talking about tribunal, there's a reason and there's a way actually we can form that tribunal. What about, take for example, the time when Moi was there, the president. If Chief Justice, would, like now Chunga, would have that even audacity of telling Moi that we want to form a tribunal. But now because of the environment. So let us not actually make people think as if actually we are not moving. We are moving. After another 20 years, you'll see a different country altogether.
Okay,
Yes.
now just on that, a quick one. Now that we have Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero implicated in this, actually, it takes two to tango, the buyer and the seller of corruption, should I say that? Now, does it call for Evans Kidero to step aside now in matters of integrity, to wait until the tribunal is formed and then it's now cleared and then he goes back to his work? Talking about integrity again.
Yeah, sure. Ideally, actually, Kidero definitely should have also probably stepped aside. But I remember, Nick, in 2013, a very bad precedent was set in this country, where we had people in a international court on very, very serious charges, okay, of and they were allowed to contest. Not only for the highest office in this land. So the precedent was set then, and it was a very bad step for this country, because now that will be the basis now of everything else. That's a benchmark that you are innocent until proven guilty, and so there is no need of stepping aside. If there is no reason why Kidero should be asked to step aside, whereas the deputy president today is before a court of law and is still in office. So one
would ask.
Are these two making a right?
No, it's a typical. These are typical Kenya.
Yes,
these are typical Kenya sentiment.
Just a minute. One would ask, if Kidero does not step aside, will it interfere with the investigation that is taking place? So if that he will not interfere with the investigation, then there's no need for him to step aside. But why that he would interfere with the investigation that is taking place, then he actually should resign, he should step aside. However, our good president, his party leader, and his deputy president, the position they held when they had a case in Hague, we could actually see they had power to interfere with the case at the Hague.
And they did so.
And surprisingly, so many witnesses, some of them disappeared. Some of them, we don't know what happened to them. Some of them even recanted their evidence. And we're asking ourselves, what happened? Because these guys had the power to interfere with the case. That is why they should have stepped aside. But Kidero, would he interfere with the judiciary system?
In fact, it's repeating.
So now it's a case of integrity versus interference of justice.
No, that is actually
what are you talking
if you
about
combine,
here?
if you
Is
check
it interference of justice or is it integrity?
Typical Kenya, typical Kenya, who has a corrupt mind, who do not want actually the system to work. It's like, for example, I go steal maybe some land and all that. Then when maybe government want now to take that land back to the people, I run to my people that actually my people, our land is going. You get the point? Now we are talking about integrity of actually Kidero. My learned friend, if he's learned, is bringing the issue of who? Of now Uhuru Kenyatta and giving an example. So he's saying now, because Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto never stepped aside, now that one is now, Kidero should not step aside. No. If actually we were caught actually maybe stealing somewhere, and I managed to escape and the two of them were arrested, you'll still bring in court and someone will be at large. You get the point? We are talking about actually the integrity of Kidero. Should Kidero step aside or not? But the only problem now, we need also to know who is this Kidero. Because the guy has a lot of sacks of corruption behind him. The guy actually, even in terms of integrity, you get the point?
Really?
Yeah, he has it. All over. Those was allegations.
Just 1 minute as we go to the break. Mr. Kidero, go ahead.
I think those are definitely mere allegations. Of course, there have been allegations right, left, and center. Yeah. But the Honorable Governor has not been brought to any court of law. And so nothing has been proved. And the allegations fly right, left, and center. And for instance, somebody like the deputy governor, the deputy president, is a person who has been appearing in the court time and time again. And in fact, he was convicted
there is no
of
crime.
fraud.
He's never been accused.
Yes, the other day he was ordered to return a piece of land that he had grabbed. Okay, and he was convicted of that. That is also mere allegation. And he's still in office.
So now, guys, we are agreeing that Kidero should continue in his office as the
We have not agreed on that.
My statement is, if he stepped aside, is stepping aside, is it that he's stepping aside because we feel that he would interfere with the investigation? That's why people step aside. If you would interfere with the investigation that's taking place, then you should step aside so that you don't interfere with it. But Kidero's position as we speak, I don't think he would interfere with investigation, because when the president forms the commission to investigate Justice Chinui, I'm sure he's going to pick people of integrity to look into that case. And I'm sure he's going to use the National Intelligence Service to help in the investigation. So how is Kidero going to interfere with that?
Gentlemen, I'm going into this break, and I believe that this thing will be getting hotter and hotter. When you come back, I want now to know, why is it that we see the opposition being raided left, right, and center by the Jubilee government, appointing legislators and members of parliament, maybe, if you might say so, into the executive, thereby occasioning by-elections that are sometimes very expensive. While there are very many Kenyans out there maybe who would be doing a better job than that. Is it strategy? Is it politics? Is it that there are people who cannot work until they must be fetched from the parliament and any other areas? This is the Cardinal Talk, and we are going to be back in a short while. Please don't go away. This is LTN. Yes, if you're joining us right now, we are on with the show, The Cardinal Talk on LTN. Please keep watching because this show is going to give you so much in terms of analysis, in terms of views, reviews, and news. Don't go away. Now, guys, let's go on with our debate. Just at the moment we're going out for the break, I was talking about the government side appointing members of the opposition into the executive. Now, this trend, is it in any way helping nurture the party democracy in Kenya? Are we also suggesting that it's only in the opposition that we can find legislators who are capable of running ministries? Antony, what's your take?
Considering the ruling party, which is Jubilee, you realize that Jubilee is actually a combination of two parties, TNA and URP. And you know, URP is basically a central province party. And
are you talking about URP?
No, TNA. TNA is a central province party, and URP is a Rift Valley party. So basically, for them to get any support outside those areas, they must give some carrots, some enticement for them to get people from, let's say, Malindi, people from the side of Masaila. They can't get any support, so they have to give you something.
They can't get any support. What do you mean? They can't get any support?
Yes, because considering the voting patterns, we know Jubilee got their votes, majority of their votes, actually 95% of their votes from Central and Rift Valley. So if any case they want to mix and to make their government look have the face of Kenya, they have to go to Coast, go to Malindi and pick a member of parliament there. They have to go to Masailand and pick Kaiseri for them to have national face. And I think that's what they are doing.
I think Jubilee has a national
face.
With
that?
No, I don't concur with that because number one,
is Jubilee trying to only get the face of
number
Kenya
one,
by poaching?
No, they are not. It's not. The government is not poaching. Yeah. In fact, those people, when you talk about Kaiseri, he accepted to come. He never refused to come. And let me tell you one thing, the reason as to why people form political parties is to form the government, not become an opposition. Even in Kaiseris of this world know that, in fact, they're in a party which actually, even you look their leaders' body language, they are still planning to becoming serious leaders of opposition come 2017. What are you doing there? That's why when you go to Coast, those people will accept joining the government because they know this is the government which after even 2017.
Not those people, that one individual.
It's an individual who is coming actually. In their village, those people have not told him, no, we don't want you to become. You get the point? He was supported as an MP, and they do not have problem even where they are as we are talking.
So I can tell you. So you believe it's not strategy by the government side or the Jubilee side?
It's a matter of time. The people want to close to join the government.
Just to prove to your point.
Yes.
In Kaiseri's by-election, after Kaiseri had been appointed the minister, how did the people from Kajiado vote? They voted ODM. I can tell you in Malindi now, the people of Malindi are going to vote ODM.
How do you tell that? How do you tell that?
How do you tell it?
And there are polls which is done, which is a private things. When you're going for an election, you check that, and we can even bet here with over that. In Kericho, I can tell you, the Jubilee candidate is going to lose.
How do you come to know this? This is surprising, Mr. Gitonga. How does Antony come to know this? The elections are far a month away from now.
It's rather obvious.
And he can tell for sure.
It's rather obvious. Coast is still.
It's rather obvious.
Yeah, the Coast is still Jubilee. I was in Mombasa last week, and Coast still has got overwhelming support. Very overwhelming.
In the Coast.
Yeah, in the Coast. That is rather obvious. Despite the number of brown envelopes they are going to ditch out, you know, that it's going to.
You fear the brain envelope.
Let me add this: Jubilee trying to, by pushing members of parliament, is actually trying to kill the democracy we have. Especially, they want to buy.
Why do you use that word poaching?
They want to buy. Poaching, you know, they are giving carrots to members of parliament. They are telling them, if you come to bed with us, if you support us, there's a chance that we can make you a cabinet secretary despite you being a member of parliament. It is actually now trying to weaken actually they are weakening the registration.
But sir, this also begs this question that are our MPs strong believers in the rule of political parties and their beliefs into their ideologies and all this? Do we have leaders who believe in particular ideologies?
These MPs,
if you can be bought,
these
if you can be
MPs,
swayed easily and go and become a cabinet minister, if you're elected on an opposition ticket, it means the ideals of that opposition party did not actually mean anything to you in the first place. So we only elect leaders who don't believe in any ideologies.
What are the ideologies actually CORD believes in? Can you tell us? I mean, what is the ideology?
I'm not in CORD.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Now,
so that's what I'm
maybe
simply saying. The reason, and I said, I underline that.
Yeah.
You form a political party to form the government. These people have seen CORD actually is outside there, and they are not even planning to form the government. So they are coming to the government.
Unfortunately for him, he doesn't even have an idea. They don't even know what ideology.
So what is the ideology?
That is why the Jubilee forms a party, and then even before it takes off, they break it, and then they form another one. Then they join another one before because what
is the
for literally nothing? They don't have a clue.
Can you tell me the ideology of CORD?
Is about?
So they have no ideology whatsoever.
They have no ideology. The ideology is just tribalism and corruption. Period. That is it. They don't have anything else.
You're put to the sword.
I don't want to believe in that, because I wanted to know, because you talk about ideology, you're asking if these people believe in ideology. I'm only seeing actually something like a movement, the way you call it, CORD, which actually is just a vehicle looking for power but do not know direction. There is no ideology.
Without any ideas.
No, in fact, if you remove former prime minister there and then leave it, all of them, they will go. You get the point? It's now, if that is the ideology, so then yes.
Is the unifying factor.
Then that is the ideology. If Raila himself is the ideology, that's why those people are there.
Are you agreeing with that?
You see, Nick,
of course not.
ANC of South Africa became very strong.
Good.
Mostly when Nelson Mandela came out.
Yes.
Because Nelson Mandela was a unifying factor in ANC. We cannot write off the right Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, as a uniting factor in CORD and particularly in ODM. That much we can. However, yes.
The former Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. We only have one in this country. There were actually two. One passed on, Jomo Kenyatta, who became the president, and then the current one, which we have, is Raila Odinga.
Carry on.
Right now, we cannot write off the fact that Raila Odinga is a uniting factor in our party.
Yes.
That much you can. However, we have, as a supporter of CORD, we have an ideology. What is the ideology?
Yes.
We are social democrat. What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Yes. I want you to listen so that when you
speak,
when you meet your friends, you can explain to them. What does it mean? For us, we believe that the government should be there to serve everyone. And when it's a matter of distributing the national wealth or the national cake, it should be done equitably and fairly.
Yes.
We believe that tribalism is a politics of yesteryears, is a politics that does not have space in Kenya today. That much we believe in. They, the Jubilee, who believe so much that the politics of corruption, the politics of tribalism, the politics of propaganda, and all the bad things that you can see, you'll find it in Jubilee.
Nick, we cannot allow him to actually to...
Just a minute, sir. You'll have time. Are you agreeing that ODM is a social democratic ideological establishment?
Yeah, precisely so. And if we look where we are at now as a country, in fact, what is in place is mostly what CORD, especially the leaders of CORD, have brought about. Devolution by itself, it is a brainchild of ODM. Yeah, the multipartyism that we are enjoying today in this country was brought about by mostly people who are in CORD. Okay. When you talk about corruption and what have you, the people who have been in the forefront of fighting corruption in this country, okay?
Nick,
in CORD, the Jubilee Brigade are only joyriders. They have never contributed anything in this country.
Ideas. You talk about social democrats and all that. You cut and paste. You know, even if you ask former prime minister what he's saying, he will tell you actually that is Jaragenya's position. Whatever we are discussing, in fact, he's not a believer in that. The other day, president was in Mombasa, actually even giving people title deeds and all that. And we knew he was doing that. You remember what actually the leader of CORD, what he said? That even if he stayed there for how many years, I'll only go for 1 day. 1 day is doing what? To rubbish the positive thing which president was doing. He is not going to add any value, just to rubbish. And in fact, because some people are talking about the social democrat, the way he's putting it, yeah, are going to rubbish positive things and offer nothing apart from confusion.
What is positive when you go and return people's land and then you ask them to pay and then a week later you go and give some supposed I don't know IDPs $1 billion shillings, you know, free of charge, and those guys are fake IDPs. And in any case, you talk about you talk about Jubilee and then having brought peace in this country. Yes. You wonder, where did these IDPs come from? Where are they? Why are they still displaced? And Jubilee now.
Do you know IDP started back in 1992?
Why don't
How old were you in 1992? How old were you in 1992 in Rift Valley?
Samson, let me ask you.
Yes.
We've just talked about ideological positions of parties here.
Yes.
We've not had the Jubilees for ideological position. They say they're social democrats. Jubilee, what are you
Yes,
guys
in fact, what we stand for is actually also that unification. Yeah. You get the point? We are unifying. I don't want to use that because he brought actually the NSC of South Africa.
No, I'm just
Nelson Mandela. When you see actually an ideology, you see actually when he's talking about apartheid and then now it's saying now let us come together. You can see a nation moving with that idea. But here is the case whereby, take for example, you talk about Jubilee, CORD, the people who were in CORD are the ones who brought you what. The other day we were with actually Kalonzo Musyoka, this side. He had a name from the same people. Do you remember the name? It was a not positive name. It was a very negative. Ruto was the other end. Was a very good man. Today Ruto is here. That's what I'm saying here. There are some people who are trying to just pulling and tagging kind of ideas, which is not helping this nation. We believe in that unity, and that's why, as we are talking, President has gone to Kisumu. President was in the coast, and in fact, he's doing actually what he promised Kenyans.
Mr. Gitonga, do you contend that the Jubilee are carrying out a unifying campaign?
Yes,
please,
he's doing it.
Comment on it. Of course, they are not even making an attempt. The other day, when you were saying that President Uhuru is doing a positive thing, he went to Mombasa and told them, we know you did not elect us, you did not vote for us. What is unifying about that? They have by their actions, whatever they do, they have actually taking this country far apart. You look at how they run government. It's about tribes. It's about essentially two tribes. It's about the Cardinal and the Kikuyus. They are not running an inclusive government at all. You look at even the way they are dispersing whatever the projects they are doing. Definitely, it is skewed to some areas.
Let me say something. A good president who is supposed to be a unifying factor, a symbol of national unity, went to Mombasa and distributed the title deeds, and he asked the squatters in Mombasa to pay 187,000 thereabout per piece of per title deed. Then the same government goes to Rift Valley and give 1 billion for people who cannot prove that they actually belong to a particular piece of land, that they owned a particular piece of land. Because for you to be an IDP, there must be a place you are living. Where was that? Which title deed did they have? Fine, if the title deed banned. Can't we find those documentation with the government?
But it's misleading.
When these IDPs who are claiming to be IDPs, we're asking, where did they come from? Did they have title deeds where they came from? If they did, for example, if the title deed got banned, we should be able to go to the government and find out, did these people actually have title deeds? And if they did, what is happening to their land now that they're being given 1 billion? If we have a uniting factor, then the people in Mombasa, the landless people in Mombasa should have been given money to buy that piece of land the way the IDPs were.
I want to say this.
Do you agree that the IDPs that we have might be imaginary?
I think my friend here is not working with any government institution to know the files and the finding of the government. Even as we are seated here, actually government is working. is about the government, and when you are going outside, you know with the information you are going. He has not visited any government office to verify some of these things. But if you want to use political lips the way he's using,
but now, sir,
to bring it down,
that's information that should be in the public domain.
You see, these people are not.
Hold on, sir. It's not politics.
Yes.
It's about finding facts.
How do you find?
We want to find facts by asking questions.
Yes.
These IDPs, yes, they are IDPs and they are Kenyans. They deserve to be resettled.
Yes.
Good. But then, can we have a chronology of circumstances that made them IDPs? And if they're genuine IDPs, there must be records for them.
But that's
because every Kenyan is registered as
I agree. I agree, Nick.
So tell us,
is government claiming that is this the government saying that these are not genuine IDPs, or some people who are not within the government are saying? That's the question I'm asking. Are those people there? If we are talking about 1 billion, it was given to some people, isn't it? Those people are there. Who has gone to actually verify from those people? Now you say that now these are the people who have been given this money, and they are not IDPs. So what I'm simply saying, when we are dealing with some of these, we must know actually what are politics and what are the real issues. So if you want to politic debate, because now my friend is bringing politics into something, those people are not dead. They are there.
If we is given facts, they say Ojiayo is doing politics. I remember in Peketoni.
Maybe less than a minute.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
In Peketoni, we were told that the people who instigated violence in Peketoni are caught, and the president addressed the nation on that. We were told in Northeastern that in fact Duale told us that he knows the people who are instigating terrorism in the country, and he was going to name them. Up to now they've never been named. When you are talking about people who are doing politics, it is Jubilee who is doing politics.
But you are doing politics
because you with nothing.
It's
all about politics.
I think we must end it at that. But before we end it, maybe just a second of your last word, Mr. Gitonga. Just only a second, please. Let's not take more than that.
Well, I would. I just mine is an appeal, and you said the appeal to the Jubilee government that they have the mandate. They have the mandate to lead and not to rule. They need to lead the nation, not to rule. Si kutawala waongoze nchi. Sasa wanatutawala, hatutaki utawala. We need to be ongozwa.
Thank you very much. What I would say that let's actually also give the government time. Kenyan people gave it time. Jubilee maybe wait for, God needs to wait for their time, maybe 2044, which will come. We don't have problem with that. Thank you.
Yes, Antony.
Fellow countrymen, this country belongs to all of us, and all of us are first-class citizens. No one should allow you to feel and to think that you're a third-class citizen. We must have our say, and our words have to be listened to our government that we pay our taxes to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, viewers. Wherever you are, this has been the Cardinal Talk coming to you on LTN. I hope next week, the same time, we'll be together going on with these discussions. Because of time, maybe we had to end it there, but I promise you, it's gonna get fiery next time round. Please keep tuned to LTN. My name is Nick Okello.
Small